Yabba yabba! Hello! I made a video that talks about the string of greatness in the NBA, and I ranked them from great to greatest. And I've also said that I have an idea to whom the next great players in each strings are gonna be. And that's what I'm gonna talk about in this video. And also I'm gonna change something and add other great players, because I've missed something that I just found out after I posted my first video, my 7 greatest players of all time. So here we go. I'm gonna discuss what is the string of greatness, then the changes and additionals of the string of greatness, and explain to why I named each strings their name, and talk again to whom those players are already in each strings before I talk about the next greats. And also I'm gonna talk about a new string of greatness in the making. The string of greatness. It's just something I made up, but for an interesting reason, and I hope you'd find it interesting as well. So the string of greatness means when a great player is drafted on a certain year, another great player is born on the same year. You'll understand more about it as I go on my topic. So watch until the end, because this string of greatness has more to it than just being drafted on a certain year and being born on the same year. So in my first video, there were only 3 strings of greatness. But this time I'm gonna add a 4th and 5th string, and I'm gonna call it the underrated string and unique string. Forgive my naming, I'm just not good at it, so please just bear with me. So if you've seen my first video, my 7 greatest players of all time, you'll know that the 3 strings are named the GOAT string, the best string, and the unfortunate string. The GOAT, as we all know, is an acronym for greatest of all time. The players in this string are Michael Jordan, and LeBron James. They are in the same string because when MJ was drafted 3rd overall pick by the Chicago Bulls in the year 1984, LeBron James was born. And in my opinion, these two is the top 2 greatest player of all time. And that's why I call this the GOAT string. And now the best string. I call this the best string because for me, the word best is just below the word great. Like, it sounds like their meaning is the same, but it really feels like the word great is on top of the word best. I mean, that's just how I see it. That's why I name it the best string, because the players in this string are great players but not as great as those players in the GOAT string. The players in this string is like the words great and best. They are great players, but I can't put them on top of Jordan and LeBron. The first player in this string is Bill Russell, who was drafted 2nd overall pick by the St. Louis Hawks and then immediately traded to the Boston Celtics on the year 1956. On that year, Larry Bird was born. And was drafted 6th overall pick by the Boston Celtics on the year 1978. Although he did not play for the Celtics on that year because he went back to college to finish his final season at Indiana State, but still, he was drafted on that year, which was the year the Black Mamba Kobe Bryant was born. And now for the unfortunate string. I call this the unfortunate string because I think the players in this string are just as good as the best string. In fact, they are the rivals of the best string. But unfortunately, there you go. That's the reason why I call this the unfortunate string, because when I think or talk about this string, the word unfortunate is just there. So that's why. And the first player in this string is Wilt Chamberlain, who was drafted with the territorial pick by the Philadelphia Warriors on the year 1959. And on that year, Earvin Magic Johnson was born and was drafted 1st overall pick by the Los Angeles Lakers on the year 1979. And on that year, a great player was born, and he is the reason why this string is called unfortunate. Because to me, and this is not me being biased because this dude is my favorite player, or because this dude is the reason why I fall in love with the game of basketball, but because it is a fact. He might be the reason why I call this string unfortunate, but to me, he is the greatest what-if player of all time. If only things went right for him. He is the player who could have rivaled the Black Mamba, and we would have witnessed another great rivalry, just like Bill Russell versus Wilt Chamberlain, Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson, and it was supposed to be Kobe Bryant versus Tracy McGrady. Even Kobe said that T-Mac is the guy that always gave him the most problem on the court. What a rivalry it could have been. Anyways, the rivalry of the best and unfortunate string is just amazing. Like Russell and Wilt, they are both center, they have the same style of play. And then we have Bird and Magic. Even though their positions are different, but their play style is no different from each other. And the same goes to Kobe and T-Mac. Both great scorers and both underrated defenders. Their play style is just the same. Like Kobe said, T-Mac can do everything he can, and he was 6'9". That's the difference between the best and unfortunate string from the GOAT string, because nobody rivals Jordan and LeBron in the era they played in. And now I'm gonna talk about this new string I'm going to add. So this is the underrated string. I call this underrated because the players in this string are kind of forgotten or not seen as great as those players from the first 3 strings. The first player in this string is Julius Erving or Dr. J. Who was drafted 12th overall pick by the Milwaukee Bucks on the year 1972. He would have joined the Big O Oscar Robertson and Lou Alcindor or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Phew! What a super team would have that been. Because for some reason, he was not able to play in the NBA and went back in the ABA until the year 1976 to 1977 NBA season, where he played for the Philadelphia 76ers. Dr. J was a great player, although he spent 5 years of his greatness on the ABA, but still he was great on the NBA. Might not as dominant as he was on the ABA, but still he was great, and even winning an NBA championship late in his career. But now, no one even talks about Dr. J anymore. Like, who's gonna be the next Julius Erving? Or even compare a player to Julius Erving. But maybe that's because no one can compare to Dr. J because he's a legend, or maybe because he is forgotten. This legend can still dunk at 60. Man, this dude is legend. Wait for it. Legendary. On the year he was drafted, the year 1972, Grant Hill was born and was drafted with the 3rd overall pick by the Detroit Pistons on the year 1994. Grant Hill, I think for me, is second to T-Mac as the greatest what-if player of all time. If not for the injuries, he and T-Mac might have won a ring or rings. But before the injury, Grant Hill was a bad dude, man. He can do everything. He was even considered as the next Michael Jordan of the league in his rookie season. Well, that was because MJ was not on the NBA on his rookie year, but still, to be seen as the next MJ in his rookie season, man, that's amazing. He even became the first rookie to lead an NBA All-Star voting, but yeah, it is just an NBA All-Star voting, but still he was headed towards greatness until the injuries slowed him down. But he was still a great role player. Played 19 seasons in the league, but that's it. In his 19 seasons in the league, he was mostly remembered as a role player. And now for the other new string I'm going to add. This is the unique string. I call this unique because the players in this string is unique. You'll understand when I talk about the players. So the first player in this string is Lou Alcindor or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. As we all know, no one has ever made a hook shot like Kareem's. That's why I call this the unique string. And the next player in this string has never been replicated as well. I've never seen a player dominates the game like he did. And when I see or hear the word dominate, only one player comes to mind, and that player is Shaquille O'Neal. Never we have seen the likes of Shaq's distractions. I mean, like, this dude can just bully his way towards the basket. That's what makes Shaq unique. But this string is different from the first 4 strings. That's why it is fitting that I call this unique, because it's not like the first 4 strings that when a great player is drafted on a certain year, a great player is also born. Because when Jabbar was drafted in 1969, there was no player on the NBA that was born on that same year who was on the same level of greatness and uniqueness as this player on this string. It took 3 years before Shaq was born in 1972. So I thought maybe there is a 3-year gap before the next great unique player is born. And now before I talk about who the next players on each strings are going to be, I'm just gonna say that there is a new string being born that we are witnessing now. I don't know what I'm going to name that string yet, but the player on that string is the kid who's called. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and if you do, please like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell button to be notified for my next videos. Also, follow me on my social media accounts, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The links are on the description. Yabba yabba.